So this is Lucidpress. The website is right up here. It's lucidpress.com. Normally, if you're not logged in, right here will say to sign up. Right here is also sign up for free. So you just put in your email, sign up, and it will continue you from there. After, if you're a student or a teacher, what you'll want to do is scroll all the way down here to For Education. So you have For Education. You got to scroll down for a little bit, and you come all the way down to this one right here. So it's the free for individual teachers and students, and it will automatically upgrade your account if you are a K-12 teacher or a student registering with a valid educational email address. So if you have anything that's like .edu, that's what you do. So how do you do that? Is you sign up for the free account with your educational email address. So you want it to already be on that email address. And then you go to here and you would go to account settings or user settings and click the get a free educational upgrade, and it might take a day or two and then they will send you your confirmation email. So that's how you get this for free. It's really nice. When you have the premium, there are different options. So if you come over here, this is what Lucidpress looks like. You can make folders, which is really helpful. This right here is an icon showing it's been shared with someone. So I shared the entire folder with someone else. So that's what that is. If you look here, this is how much documents and storage you have. So you just kind of keep an eye on that. And that's pretty much what that is. These are the different types of files and folders that you can make. So what you can do is if you look right here, it'll say create a document. This one's blank, so if you just want to start from scratch, that's what you use. But then there are different options. So if you see this premium, that's why you want to upgrade, is because you can't use those unless you've upgraded. So here's a bunch of different options. If you need a brochure, a leaflet, business card, catalog. I like to use the magazines ones a lot for different things just because it's a little bit easier. Another one is like newsletters is a really great one to use. So if you find one you like, say you like this Blossoms one, you can go to preview and it will show you, this is what it looks like right here. So all these words are just in there for now. You can click on them and edit them whenever you want, but it'll show you all the different pages and kind of the format. So if you see this flows into this, which flows into this, there are the pictures, this is its own spot. Just kind of how it's set up, and you can edit all of this, which is really cool. So we're going to open up two folders. One of them, we're going to go in here, and let's open up this one real quick. So it'll take a second to load, but I just want to show you how you can edit one that's already pre-made. It does take a little bit. They always put a pro tip on here. They change each time that they're loading. So if you want the image manager, you press the I key. It has things like Control Z is undo, but they also have things that are specific to Lucidpress, like clicking the image key. So if this one was already set up, if you see this green box here was already there, but I can move it still. Like I can change anything that I want, put it wherever I want. You can change the size. This used to be quite a bit smaller and I made it larger. Anything like that. All the words. You can copy and paste things. Something else is you can go duplicate page and it'll give you a second page of the exact same thing. If you want to get rid of it, you just click delete. Control Z is undo, which I mentioned before. So that's kind of how this is used. If you were going to go to, say, your font and wanted to change the color, because this one already had colors that were set, it will actually give you those options of things that are already inside the color scheme, because it's programmed into this specific format. So that's really nice. You can't click and scroll here. If you have a touch screen, it also doesn't work. You have to click right here. If you want to hide anything so you have a little bit extra room, there's a toggle there. There's another one over here. And this is your zoom, so you can zoom in as close as you want. This is how you change the title of your document, whatever you've made. And if you look here, you've got the text, style, and layout. So there are a bunch of different options. Same thing with the video, same thing with photos. So all of those are options. You can add links to photos, you can add links to videos. Some of these, they don't really show the scroll bar very well. It's right there. It's kind of hard to see. But there's more down here. You can add links, wrap text, all that stuff. So it works really nice. But I'm going to show how to work with a blank document a little bit. And it took me a while to reopen it, so it's going to reload for me anyway. And as you see, there's another pro tip. This one is Control- to zoom out, Control+ to zoom in, which a lot of people know. So in this case, this one's already hidden because there's only one page, so there was no point in showing it. But I'm going to be adding pages, so we're going to open that up anyway. And the first thing I want to do is I want to add a background. So if you go to Images, right now these are all the images I've already ever used in Lucidpress. So you can look at a bunch of different ones, but I have a specific one I'm looking for. So in that case, I'm going to go to Upload. And if you remember that pro tip just a little bit ago said to press Control I or click I for this image uploader, and this is what that is. That's what it would open. So if you would then go to, I need to go to this one, and then here, and then this, and here is a image I already saved that I wanted to use as a background. So I've got my image, you click it, it opens up. So something about sizing. If I go like this, it scales it all pretty well. If you do the corner, it scales it all pretty well, but sometimes with how the shape and size is, it'll change how the image on the inside looks. So it will cut off like edges. So it would cut off here and kind of zoom it in a little bit, which is a little bit odd. If you notice, like I'm trying to go up and it's still being a square for me. So if you see, I'm going up and it's keeping it square, but I don't want it to be square. So in this case, it cut it off just because it went off the screen. So that's kind of something to be aware of. You can still see a little white line up there, but that's just kind of how things work. And that, if you see I'm going back this way and it's not working either, it's just, it likes to keep things the same shape that they are, which can be a little bit frustrating, but it also like doesn't really hurt anything too much. So that is just something to be aware of. And now I have this as a document. I could crop it if I want, which is really nice because you can say this is where I want and I only want it to have that much, or whatever you are looking for. So I'm not cropping this because I don't want it like that. But that's basically how you kind of add images. You can add them whatever you want, whatever size you want. If you had one of those pre-made ones, you would also just add to the, you would also just again add to, you could click on it and change the image. So in this case, if you click, you look at the fill right here, I could scale to fill, scale to fit, stretch, original size. So I could change how it organizes. If you look, it makes it a tile now, so that would work really well for making something a background. And that's kind of how that works. If you want to add text, you come over here. There are a couple different options. So here's headings. Subheadings are a little bit smaller, and if you click on it, you can move it. So you just go like that. If you want it to be bigger, go like that. If you want it to be taller, what you do is you up the font size. Subheadings and headings kind of give it a little bit of a style. If you want them to be in a specific style, though, you can just go and click it and change the font. So there's a couple different fonts that are already in here. There are some that are not that you probably wish were, but they're not there. So if you come to manage fonts, you can see you can turn on different fonts. So they have all these fonts here. So like perhaps you don't have that one and you think it looks really cool. you could turn it on and it would start showing up. So here are a bunch of different options for fonts. I will tell you right now, 2 fonts that are not on here are Helvetica and Times New Roman. Neither of those are in here. So if you searched up Times New Roman, see how it's got this little asterisk right here? That's because it's saying with licensing restrictions, they can't use it. So you just kind of deal with it, and that's fine. They give you options for other ones, and you can change them to whatever style you want. You can change the colors by clicking on here. You have all of that. Shapes, you just add a shape. You can add images, you can add tables, which works very similar to if in Word you add rows, you add columns, really simple. If you want to get rid of it, you just click delete. You can add videos. This one is really nice. You can add a video here. You get the link from YouTube or Vimeo, and you just put the URL in here and it'll upload it for you. So that's the kind of default one that they have. But buttons are buttons. You can click on them, add links to them, things like that. Scroll area is a little bit tricky, so we're going to talk about this for a second. So right now, this is my scroll area, and there's not too much with it right now. It's just a scroll area. So if I go to blank text, this is now inside my scroll area. So we're gonna go like this, make it really long, because I've given up on words. If you see this little plus, that means you double click it and it gives you length. And then if you double click outside, it removes you from being in the scroll area. So if you now move this, everything stays inside, and you can scale this to however you want. But if you notice, if you go too far, your words go outside of your scroll area. So if you notice, my words are not showing in the scroll area, and even if I move it over here, they don't show up. So you click in here and they're not showing up properly. So you figure out which size you want the scroll area to be. And then what you would do is you double click inside and it'll go bigger, so it looks weird because you're like, no, it should be this big, and it's not. If you put something above here, it's going to get cut off as well, so don't do that. But you make it as wide as you want, and then you can type as much as you want in here. So you can go all the way down. If you notice, the scroll area goes with it, but then when I click back out, it goes back to the size I made it. It's really helpful. If you click on preview now, super quick, you can see what it would look like if you saved it right at this moment in time. So a scroll area will do that little dip right there, and it'll make it so you can see, and if you look, the length of the whole box is now what it's showing. So it's going all the way down for however long I made it. And scroll areas, like everything else, you can change the background color, everything like that. Click escape and it'll take you out of the preview. When you save it, you want to go download as, and you can pick PDF, JPEG, all of those, saves it to your computer, and then you can send it wherever you want. You can add active links, everything like that. It's just really great, really simple. One of the things it does, if you can see, it shows lines, so that's saying that's where the center is. It'll show you a different one that's showing it's lined up with the top of subheading. It's kind of hard to see because it's putting the number right there as well, but if you see those dots right above where the number group is, that's showing that everything is aligned, which is really helpful. It looks really clean, really nice. If you are making your own one, you can look up a color palette and figure out what colors you want to use before you start so that you can have everything kind of mesh and look well. And after you start using them, they'll show up here in the document colors. So that works really great. You've got different ways to find the colors. So it works out rather well. It makes it really clean, really nice, a good way to document stuff. So that is Lucidpress. Thank you so much.